Glad you tuned in. Welcome to this video. Today we're going to take a look inside the TRX, and there's a particular spot that I definitely want to clean together with you to show you how to do it properly, which products you can use for this type of surface, because we're talking about Alcantara. And if you drive the car for a while, and I know it's the same for you with your vehicles, when there's Alcantara on the steering wheel, it eventually becomes smooth, sticky and shiny, even though it's actually supposed to be nice and soft and fluffy. These short fibers are supposed to be very, very loose, but that's just not really the case with this vehicle anymore. That's why we've made this short compact video for you, so you can get your Alcantara steering wheel back into top condition. Let's get started, have fun. Yes, today we're focusing on the surface of the steering wheel. And if we take a look at the two Alcantara areas, one running along the top here and one along the bottom, if you look down here, I think it still looks really nice, and you can also see that you can still move the fibers around and shift them in all directions. So the condition here is still really very good. But I think the previous owner, one of the previous owners, was one of those people who grips the top of the steering wheel. That means they like to rest their hand right up here, and you can see that in the material as well. I hope it can be made clearly visible. First of all, we also have a few small spots here that are really pressed flat. The Alcantara it's al vez. Now you can see it well is pressed down super flat. So the fibers, look, it's like a compressed surface. And it also looks very, very, I hope you can always see it. That's why I'm trying to show it a bit, also very shiny here. Take a look here. So it's really pressed down very flat, and it definitely needs a good thorough cleaning. And I'm going to make a small separation here. You don't need to do this at home, but it's just so we can distinguish it better. And I can show you more clearly how healthy the Alcantara looks and how this one is a bit worn. But actually it's just stuck together. And if you use sunscreen, for example, in the summer, or hand cream on your hands and then always touch the top here, you end up with these flattened fibers. And I also have it from the side, and you can see it very, very clearly there as well. We're going to clean it now, and I've brought various things for that. First, a cleaner that's actually suitable for the entire interior, the clean stuff from Sonax. We can also read it here on the front, where we also find the word Alcantara. But of course, you can also use it on glass, piano lacquer, upholstery, displays, plastic, leather, and so on. It's completely versatile and also a very, very mild and gentle cleaner. That means you should definitely always include this type of cleaner in your collection, in your repertoire, because you really need it for many surfaces. And here we also have a large display. We'll take a look at that in a later video as well. But today we're going to use it on Alcantara, and I can definitely recommend it for that too. But we still need a cleaning tool, and with Alcantara, we first need to loosen these little fibers, remove the dirt, and then raise and fluff up the fibers again. That's why I would always recommend a scrub pad to you, either this one here. I'll just link a few for you down below. There are different models available. There are also scrub gloves and scrub pads in various sizes. But my tip, use one that definitely has a white surface, because then you can really see how much dirt is being pulled out of the material. If these things here have a black fiber, honestly, sorry to put it this way, but that's the dumbest thing you can do. You can't see the dirt at all, and you have no idea. Is there even any dirt there? How much scrub bevel? For anyone who isn't familiar with it yet, it's a very fine synthetic fiber. You can see it here too. It's a mix between a regular cloth and a brush. But a brush is really very, very harsh on the material, especially with this Alcantara surface. That's why a scrub pad is my choice here, and we're going to test it out now. I'll get everything ready, tape off this area, set up the camera, and then we'll see how much more we can get out of it. We'll clean this side first, then we'll have a nice comparison, and after that we'll finish the rest. If you touch this leather surface with a scrub pad, it's absolutely no problem. The important thing is just not to scrub like crazy on it. It's not a scouring pad or anything like that, but if you do touch it, you don't necessarily have to tape it off. Just work up to the edge here, but don't apply extremely strong pressure. Then nothing at all will happen to this leather surface. Now let's grab a cleaner Dawn sprayed directly onto the display. I would recommend one more thing. When you're cleaning, place a cloth back here so that if any of these small fibers happen to fly off, they don't end up on the speedometer or the speedometer cover. If a bit lands here, it's no problem at all. We'll just wipe it off. But we don't want to give ourselves even more work than before, because we're also loosening dirt, and we don't want that to end up on the display. Otherwise, you can cover and tape off as much as you like, but that's actually the most important thing. So don't spray the cleaner onto the surface and cover the whole steering wheel in mist. Instead, just spray a bit of the Sonax cleaner onto the cloth outside the vehicle. Please do this outside the car. A few sprays on the cloth. I put the bottle down here in the footwell for you. Now, first dab the cleaner onto the surface here. It might foam up a little. That's absolutely no problem. And I think if we go over it once or twice more, you'll already see what has built up here over 0 kilometers. I haven't even really scrubbed yet. Not at all. I've just simply run the fibers over it. Look how far back I'm holding it. And look at what comes out here. Amazing, isn't it? And that's the reason why with Alcantara, you should always pay attention if you use hand creams or if your hands tend to get really sweaty. You should always consider maybe touching it up here from time to time. It's a surface that always looks really beautiful, and yes, it also feels great when you touch it, but it also has its drawbacks if you simply don't clean it. And look at how much dirt is coming out here now. And we haven't even scrubbed it hard yet. Now, let's fluff up the fibers a bit again. Of course, also here in the inner area, there's a seam inside as well. Be careful there too. As I said, you don't need to use a lot of strong pressure. Just go over it lightly and clean it for the first round. Also look at this here in the area. back here. Now on purpose, I'm going to pick a second spot. Yeah, I'll go over here, but we still need a bit more cleaner here. Let's spray some more on outside the car. 3 sprays. It can be a bit, even soaked, especially if you're cleaning it thoroughly for the first time. Look, I wiped 3, 4, 5 times and we've already picked up the dirt again. So a lot has really built up here since 2021, because I think, judging by how it looks, if anything drips down here, just pick it up and put it back onto the pad. Nothing was cleaned here in that regard, at least not thoroughly. So, and now here, nicely lift the fibers a bit, also in a circular motion. Also down here, because your fingers are on the back here, right? So, and now let's take a look at the first round. You can already see from how dirty the pad is, just how much grime is in here. So don't put it down on the floor, but set it aside somewhere so it doesn't pick up any extra grains of sand. Now, we take our white cloth here, and first we're going to dry the surface. This is round 1. You don't need to rub hard either. The cloth now basically acts like a sponge. And now we can just loosen the fibers a bit more and also dry them. So we can also wipe down the leather over here. As I said, if it gets on here, it's no problem at all. Just wipe it off and you'll already see the dirt residues on the cloth. Now you can work back and forth a bit here, fluff up the fibers in all directions, loosen them so they become nice and fluffy again. So, and then, yes, then we really have a beautifully restored. Let's go over the bottom here one more time, Alcantara surface. And I think you can already see it here in the picture. Let's go straight to the comparison here. Okay, it's amazing. I'll bring you in closer so you can see it better, but I think you can already see it really well like this. Take a look at this, just see what a difference this makes, right? And you can also see here that you can raise and lay the nap again, right? That's really important with Alcantara. If this no longer works, this here is then your fiber, depending on the fiber quality and length. They are short and long Alcantara fiber surfaces. This is a relatively short one. That's why it looks a bit, let's say, slightly textured. But over here, let's take a look here. Look here, you can't raise or lay the nap at all anymore. It's completely matted, and now you can clearly see the difference, right? And here again, filmed from the back. That's a huge difference. It looks like it's leather back here. Look, as if this were some kind of greasy, smooth leather, and the other is an Alcantara fiber. But no, it's the same material. But look, now the difference really becomes apparent, just how extremely matted this is, right? Incredible. So here, definitely a very significant difference, and that's after just a short drive. And I would say, let's finish the other side as well now, because it already looks a bit strange over here. If it's even worse for you, but I already consider this to be really heavy soiling, you can also use a targeted interior cleaner, like a proper upholstery cleaner. But I think with the Clean Star, you'll already get pretty far, and you can just go over it a second time if needed. If a little bit has dripped down here, just wipe it up with the cloth, and it's no problem at all. So now we're just cleaning over the Alcantara here. Take your time with this. Depending on how much surface area you have, don't always press down hard like crazy, just gently wipe over it. You can really tell when the dirt starts to come off. And don't forget these little transitions here either. And then you can definitely go over it a second time, because as you can see here, there's a lot of dirt in there. I think on the back side, we can also use the force side now. There's still enough cleaner on the surface here. That means we don't need to spray on more. Look, just one wipe on the back and already look, but it's already noticeably less. We take our cloth again, fold it over once, first absorb the remaining cleaner and wipe off any spots where something dripped down. The window is clean, no spots on it. And now we take a fresh, clean part of the cloth and carefully wipe down this section here, go over the surface and remove all the moisture again. Back here as well, one more time. Look, there's even a bit of dirt coming off here, right? I hope you can see it. Yeah, here 1, 2, 3. So you could easily go over it a second time. All right, let's go over the back here. And I think that's a huge difference, isn't it? Compared to before. Now, another shot here. The previous condition was really smooth, greasy, shiny. And now we can lay and stand up the fibers here. And we can also lay and stand up the fibers over here again, right? And that's how it should be. So that's the most important thing here. That's how quick and easy it is. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I'm going to do this section down here as well, even though down here, look, it already looks much better, but still, I think just for peace of mind, I'll do it again here too. All right, see you then. Thank you, everyone. You have the equipment. You don't need any tape. Cleaner, scrub pad. You can see what came out of here. And then ideally use a white cloth as well, so you can clearly see how much dirt is in there. How much did I remove? And then in the end, it looks really nice again and feels great to the touch. Thank you all. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. You're Sebastian. See you next time. Then we'll see each other here again on Realm. Bye.